He picked it up like it carried a disease. The tiny ceramic dog my daughter had painted for him, her small hands still smudged with the blue she'd used for its eyes. "Cheap junk," he muttered, before hurling it. It struck her cheek and shattered on the floor. She didn't cry, just stared, eyes wide, more puzzled than hurt. The laughter came next, my mother's sharp breath, my father's smirk hidden behind his whiskey glass, and my brother, the untouchable star of his own birthday, basking in the center of it all. I said nothing. I simply walked over, picked up the shattered pieces, and told my daughter to grab her coat. He was my younger brother, the golden child, the one who could crash a car and have a new one by morning. The one they said had potential, while I was labeled responsible. I built the company. He played with its profits. When our parents stepped back, they handed him the wheel, saying I was better suited for behind the scenes. I didn't argue. I never did, because power never frightened me. But patience, that was my weapon. He thought I was his safety net. I had funded his startup, co-signed his mortgage, and leased that BMW he bragged about. I was the unseen weight holding him up, and he never noticed. Until that night. Driving home, the echo of the shattered ceramic filled my head. My daughter was silent. That's when the final thread inside me snapped. I didn't yell. Didn't call. Didn't demand an apology. I simply began to plan. It started quietly, paperwork, clean and deliberate. His company still ran through my accounts. I had rights. I just never used them. Within a week, I froze the bridge loan I'd given him. 2 weeks later, I withdrew my guarantee on his office lease. By the third, I revoked his access to the credit line he'd been quietly draining. He didn't notice, not immediately. He was too busy flaunting the car I owned, the company I built, the name I gave him. Then one morning, he called. "Hey man, the bank says the funds didn't clear. Can you?" I told him I'd check. I didn't. The unraveling began slowly. Suppliers pulled out. Employees stopped getting paid. I watched as his illusion began to crumble under its own weight. Then came the BMW. I didn't take it quietly. I sent a tow truck in the middle of his lunch date, right in front of his friends. I can still picture the forced laugh, the disbelief, the panic behind his eyes as the car was hauled away. That evening, he came to my door. "This is about that stupid toy, isn't it? You're seriously doing all this over that?" I looked at him, same cocky grin, same tone he'd used our whole lives. "No," I said evenly. "This isn't about a toy. It's about you finding out who you are without me." He scoffed. "You can't just cut me off." I smiled. I already did. The collapse came faster than I expected. The bank called in his loans. Investors disappeared. The company was gone within a month. For once, my parents couldn't ignore it. My father tried to negotiate. My mother tried to shame me. But I had already made peace. I didn't want revenge to taste sweet. I wanted it to be quiet. Final. So I didn't gloat. I didn't show up to his bankruptcy hearing. I just stayed home with my daughter and helped her paint another ceramic dog. This one was pink. She named it Brave. A few weeks later, he called again. His voice was smaller this time. "Look, I'm sorry, all right? I didn't mean what I said. I was drunk, you know how I get." I let him speak. Let him think I was listening. Then I said softly, "Do you know what the hardest part of growing up with you was? Silence. It was realizing you never valued what you were given, not love, not trust, not help. You destroy things because you never had to earn them." More silence. "Then I'll change," he said. "No," I replied. "You won't." And I hung up. It's been 6 months since. He sold his house. My parents barely talk to me. The family whispers that I've turned cold. Maybe they're right. Maybe I did freeze. But sometimes cold is the only thing that keeps decay from spreading. Last week, I saw him at a gas station. He was driving an old Corolla. Eyes hollow. Smile strained. He looked at me like a stranger. I nodded. He nodded back. No words. No anger. Just distance. As we drove away, my daughter asked, "Is Uncle still mad?" I looked at her through the mirror. No, I said. He's just learning what things truly cost. And for the first time in years, I felt peace. Not because he fell, but because I finally stopped holding him up. Until everything disappeared. I whispered to myself. And I meant everything that was never real.